Hey there, comic book community. My name is Joe, and welcome back to another edition of 360 Comics. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to buy a small comic book collection for just $20. And despite the low price point, I took it home and found some really cool stuff in there. I might even be able to multiply my money by 10. Stay tuned to see what I got. As of the time of recording, we are less than 100 subscribers away from our goal of 2,000, at which point we'll be giving away this book right here, Secret Wars #1, which, due to a recent announcement from Marvel Studios, is a pretty great book to have right now. It looks like we'll be getting Secret Wars on the big screen in the next few years. Anyway, if you want to enter for your chance to win this book, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up for a like, and leave a comment down below. And if you haven't done so yet, you can go check out our other videos from the months of May, June, and July. Like those videos and leave a comment on them for additional entries. Good luck. As mentioned, I only spent $20 on this collection. Basically what happened was the seller came to me and let me know that he had turned down a $10 offer, but was still looking to move the books. Didn't want them anymore. So I looked through just a couple of them, and two stood out to me right off the bat. One was that Killing Joke book you saw in the intro to the video, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. And the other one was this Devil's Reject book right here, which we'll also talk about in just a minute. I figured he turned down $10, but maybe he would take a doubled offer of $20, and I put that on the table, and he accepted. At that price point, knowing those two books were in there, I knew I wasn't going to lose money, and there was also a potential to multiply my money considerably if there was some good stuff in there. I like buying collections blind like that, or semi-blind sometimes, because it's a lot of fun to go home and check out what you got, and sometimes there's books that you don't know that you have to look up. And that was the case here. A lot of these books I wasn't aware of the value of, but turns out it was a really great buy. I think I might have even, as much as 10x'd my money from $20 all the way up to $200. So let's get into what was in there. First off, we got Devil's Rejects, the comic book adaptation of the movie. And what's really cool about this is that it was written by the director of the movie, Rob Zombie. There's a lot of these like horror movies and horror franchise comic books end up being worth more than you would think, because there's a nice crossover of horror fans and comic book fans, and then there's also the horror fans that would not necessarily buy other comic books, but would buy this because it is related to a horror movie they like. So that ends up just being more demand for the book, and often these had rather low print runs, so there's not a huge supply. In fact, I was looking up some of the print runs from some of the horror books in here, and some of them were considerably low, even as low as under 10,000. A lot of them were only in between $10,000 and $20,000 range, 10 and 20,000 printed range rather. Anyway, moving on from that, we got My Name is Bruce. Never seen this book before, did not know Bruce Campbell had his own comic, but this guy has shown up in a bunch of superhero movies, including the Raimi Spider-Man movies, as well as making a recent cameo appearance in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And there's been a rumor just this past week that he has signed on for a 3-movie deal with Marvel. What is going on with that? Maybe that is just bogus. Maybe it is, some more cameo appearances like he did, kind of replacing Stan Lee in that cameo appearance role since his passing. But maybe he signed on to actually play a character in the MCU. I've heard some people, some rumbling. Jim from Bronzeville Comics has specifically said maybe he's playing the Beyonder, which is an over-the-top character, just like Bruce Campbell normally plays. Moving on from there, we've got Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, #6, and this is from the first run of Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash. I believe there were 2 put out by Wildstorm in collaboration with Dynamite. Really awesome cover here featuring the Jason mask with Freddy and Ash in the 2 eyes. And not only was there #6 from the first run, there was also #1 from the second run, particularly with the Ash cover. Now, given Freddy and Jason are probably more popular characters than Ash over here, This one seems to be actually the most valuable cover because I think people try to collect all three of them, and I guess less were purchased of this cover given the popularity of the other two characters. That would be my guess. Then we've got Halloween, The First Death of Laurie Strode, #1. Look at that incredible Mike Myers cover. This book, surprisingly enough, sells for like $15-20. Very happy to find that in there. Didn't have like the whole run of these horror titles, but it did have mostly like #1s, including this one right here, Texas Chainsaw Massacre #1. This is not like the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This was the first time Wildstorm, which was an imprint of DC at the time, I believe, was printing this book. This is early 2000s, I believe. Then we got Nightmare on Elm Street, Paranoid #1, and this book right here sells for about $15 online. Really happy to see like the price on these horror books is pretty significant due to what I said before, low print runs and higher demand due to horror fans and comic fans alike purchasing these books. Now this next group of books, I have never come across them before, but they're surprisingly Marvel horror books. This is the Supernaturals. This was a run that came out, I believe, either late 90s or early 2000s. And it was a 4-issue miniseries featuring, horror-related characters such as Ghost Rider, Werewolf by Night. And the cool thing about them is they actually have like these punch-out Halloween masks of the characters on the team inside. And fortunately for me, this not only had issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, and issue 4 of this run, but all 4 are intact and complete with the Halloween masks. This set sells on eBay. I saw kind of going between $40 and $60 for the set. I'm probably going to keep this in my personal collection just because I'm into this kind of stuff. But that already, doubles or triples my money from this purchase just alone off of this set. So really great stuff. This book I had to pull out, probably keeping this one in the PC as well. North Star presents James O'Barr. If you don't know, James O'Barr is the creator of The Crow, one of my favorite, not only comic book stories, but films as well. And apparently it's getting a reboot in the next couple years featuring, what's his name? Bill Skarsgård, who played It in the movie It, and I hope that does happen because I would love to see a reboot of that movie after the 90s one. Moving on, we saw this book earlier. We're going to talk about it a little bit now. This is The Killing Joke, the one-shot Joker origin story that's, probably just the most popular Joker origin story because there are quite a few. This has pink text on the front, meaning it is the second printing. The green text is the first printing, pink is the second, and there's like orange, yellow. I think there's a dark green one as well, red. I believe there were 7 printings of this book, if I remember correctly. But anyway, second printing, still solid, sells for about $20 to $25. So, again, that one book alone is about the cost of the collection to me. Then we've got Justice League Dark #1. Unfortunately, a lot of this New 52 era stuff was not in bags and boards, and because of that have a bunch of spine ticks. This is the second printing of the book, even with a couple spine ticks, probably worth between $5 and $10. Same thing with this Suicide Squad #1. First appearance of this version of the Suicide Squad with Bloodsport, King Shark, and Harley. Same thing goes with the spine ticks. Not a super high grade book, but still worth a couple bucks given the significance. And one more book from the New 52 run right here, Suicide Squad #7, origin story of Harley Quinn. It even says it right on the cover there. And same deal, couple spine ticks and stuff like that, but still a nice book to have. Then we got some Superman stuff. There was a lot of Superman, a lot of like 90s Superman, the stuff that you really don't want, the dollar bin books all day. But there was this Adventure of Superman from 1987. This is when the Superman title changed its name to Adventures of Superman, and they rebooted the Superman title with the, the John Byrne run starting in 1987 back at number 1. And they ran parallel to each other for a number of years. This was just the kickoff issue of that separation. Then we got this Superman book right here, and this is a nice cover. I'm not a Superman guy by any means, but man, this cover is cool. Superman number 675, Alex Ross kills it. Really, any Alex Ross cover, they all look good. Like, literally, I don't think I've ever seen one that I didn't like. This is definitely one of the standout Superman covers. Last but not least, out of the comics, before we get into some other stuff that was in this box, is Wolverine number 145. The 25th anniversary of Wolverine. We've got this foil cover with the claws, and unfortunately, you could probably even see it in the video. This one's got some pretty large spine ticks. A mid-grade copy of this book. Usually, this book sells for about $25, $30. This one obviously isn't going to fetch nearly that much, maybe $5 to $10 at most, because of those spine ticks. But still, nonetheless, it is a pretty solid book. And always look out for the versions that are missing the foiling on the claws, because those are very expensive. Definitely keep an eye out for them. Now, in addition to all of these comic books, there were also some compendiums, some trade paperbacks and stuff like that. Just want to show you a couple real quick that stood out to me. This one specifically, probably just staying with me. We got Walking Dead Compendium number 1, and to go along with it, Walking Dead Compendium number 2. So this is the first 96 issues, 1 through 48 in number 1, and 49 through 96 in number 2. So this is honestly the first half of the run. I think there's only probably 4 compendiums, because it didn't hit 200 issues. I think it only went up to 191 or something like that. So I'm definitely going to keep those 2 and probably end up buying 3 and 4, so that I've got that kind of like, reader set of, that Walking Dead stuff. There was also this, and unfortunately the dust jacket for this was really in bad shape. So I ended up throwing it out. It had rips in it. It had some like food or something stuck to it. And I'm going to try to hold this in a way that you can hopefully see the bat emblem right there. Hopefully that's coming through. This is Batman New 52. And this is the volume 1 of that run, which starts off with this book right here. That's the cover. Batman number 1 from New 52. And this is 1 through 6. So this is the first arc, the Court of Owls arc. In my opinion, this run of Batman is literally, it's this and Hush as far as 2000s Batman stuff. I can't think of another storyline other than those 2 that really stand out to me as being, some of the best written work in comic books, as far as the 2000s go, with Batman. So I'm very happy to have that. I have the run already, but I'm stoked to have this hardcover version. Definitely going to keep that. It stinks that the dust jacket was destroyed, but honestly, it looks kind of cool with his all black right here. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Like I said, I'm really happy with it. There's some personal collection stuff. There's some stuff that I'm going to be able to sell for a nice profit. I might have even multiplied my money by 10. That would be fantastic. And there's, like I said, a bunch of dollar bin Superman books and some other things that were in really ratty condition, that, I'm just going to put in my dollar bins and see if anyone wants to pick them up for nice and cheap. Anyway, hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up for a like. Leave a comment down below. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.